All right, Nick, there's a lot of reasons last season for why the Chicago Bears offense was horrendous, especially with what seems to be a talented rookie quarterback at the helm in Justin Fields. And I think you have more on the story of why this offense was as bad as it was.
Yeah, so some people blame Justin Fields, some people blame Matt Nagy. We've talked more about that. Most of the blame falls on Nagy, but a big part of being the head coach is creating a quality staff around your organizational goals and managing that staff. And the Bears staff under Matt Nagy was unbelievably bad. And credit to sportsmockery.com for doing the research on this and figuring this out. So I'm going to go through some of the key positions on the Bears coaching staff that was under Matt Nagy and where they are today. Obviously, Matt Nagy got fired. He's unemployed. Offensive coordinator. This was the guy calling the plays or working with Matt Nagy to call the plays for Justin Fields. He doesn't have a job anymore. He didn't get hired by anybody else. Quarterback coach John DeFilippo, unemployed, doesn't have a job. Running backs coach Michael Pitre, he latched on to the Falcons, which makes sense. The Bears actually were pretty decent at running back. Their wide receivers coach was a guy named Mike Furry. According to Sports Mockery, he is now Limestone's head coach. I do not know what that is. I'm assuming that's a college, a small university somewhere, but that is certainly not a big football program, whatever Limestone is.
I think it's a school in South Carolina.
Oh, there you go. Maybe that's what it is.
Very small school.
Yeah, so obviously he's far from the big time. And their tight ends coach, Clancy Barone, is also unemployed. Now, what does all this mean? Normally when coaching staffs go, right, there are pieces of that staff, coordinators, position coaches that latch on or get promotions in other situations. We see this all the time. It is extremely rare that NFL coaches, position coaches or coordinators get fired and then just don't get other jobs, even if it's a step down. They could be the offensive coordinator for the Bears and then go be the offensive coordinator at, high level college football, or then become the quarterback's coach for an NFL team. It is extremely uncommon and very telling to the terrible coaching staff that was around Justin Fields that the overwhelming majority of these guys, especially the two most important ones, offensive coordinator Bill Lazor and quarterbacks coach DeFilippo, that both of them still are unemployed. I mean, isn't it just more of an indictment of Matt Nagy at this point, but also positivity toward Justin Fields' future?
Yeah, no, I like you said there. I like that point. Is this should be more hopeful for Bears fans that, okay, why didn't our young quarterback who seemed incredibly talented develop? It's because he was given every opportunity to fail. He was set up for failure from the beginning. So this season should seem nothing but promising for Justin Fields. And I would like to circle back. I have confirmed, yes, Limestone College is in Gaffney, South Carolina. It is a Division II Christian college. So he's like in the smallest level of college coaching that could possibly be. So the targets that Fields was throwing to weren't really being coached up by top tier talent as well. This could prove to that abysmalness of the offense. But like we said, even in his worst environment, Fields still flashed on the field. Especially, there was one game in particular that I remember where it seemed as if they completely revamped the offense for one game, did more play action, let Fields run more things that he was comfortable with, and he really seemed to flash in the game. He seemed much more comfortable, much more at ease. But outside of that, when they tried to put him into game plans that weren't conducive to his abilities, he looked not that great. So I think there's a lot to look forward to in Fields this season with a competent coaching staff around him.
You're talking about the Steelers game, right? Monday Night Football, I think, is the big one. Yeah, he was definitely, that was probably the biggest indication of his talent. And again, you look at the Bears coaching staff now, you look at their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. He comes from the Packers, right? He's coached Aaron Rodgers. He's coached top talent. He's been around the NFL since about 2014, right? This is a guy who knows the league. He knows the NFL. He's going to step in right away. It's going to be a much better upgrade for Justin Fields. And the quarterback coach for the Bears right now is a guy named Andrew Janocko. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. This is a guy who's also been in the NFL for a long time, since 2015, most recently with the Minnesota Vikings, right? So he's been around quality quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins is a quality quarterback. He's also worked with young guys. Obviously, the Vikings had Kellen Mond last year that Janocko spent some time with. So you look at the coaching staff around Fields now, you got two younger coaches, but experience in the NFL around quality elite caliber quarterbacks. I think that's going to go a long way for Fields. And I think it's going to be a big year for the Bears offense and Fields as they make big leaps improving off of last season.
All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.